Hello, and welcome to Food in Art, a wonderful opportunity for you to get a taste of how two human concerns, nourishment and beauty, have blended together through the centuries to create masterpieces. I'm art historian Elizabeth Lev, and I hope that you'll enjoy these bite-sized pieces of fun, facts, faith, and beauty about food. This immense mound of butter makes us feel a little uncomfortable. It's a still life, I suppose, like many others we've seen, the composition of fruit, plates, meat, bread. But something about Antoine Vollon's Mound of Butter has a sensuality to it which is not quite in the norm of a still life painting. This immense pile of freshly churned butter stands inside its white cheesecloth covering, which has slipped down almost like a chemise falling from the shoulders of one of Renoir's nudes. Standing beside them are two chalk white eggs, the size of those eggs emphasizing the massiveness of the creamy substance by its side. Antoine Vollon was considered in his day the greatest of the still life painters. People said that he could paint with anything. He could paint with a brush. He could paint with a stick. He could paint with his sleeve. And as we look at that painting and we see the stick that is immersed in the butter, pieces still clinging thickly to it, it looks almost like that was the instrument he used to construct this painting, moving, shaping, creating crevasses and grooves in that immense, soft, yielding mound of cream. The brilliant yellow that glows like a beacon from the butter comes from a very ancient pigment. Despite the fact that the 19th century saw an incredible growth in numbers of pigments and types of colors, Vollon returned to Naples yellow, one of the oldest synthetic pigments there is. He used it to draw out these different gradations. So in contrast with the white of the eggs and the cheesecloth and the darkness of the background, that butter would glow like a beacon. It seems almost like a symbol of hope, a direction for the spirit. Perhaps Vollon was inspired by his experiences during two famines in 1870s Paris. Paris was a city that was frequently subject to famine, but between 1870 and 1871, between the siege of the Crimean War and the barricades that followed, there was real tragic famine. So perhaps Vollon, when he moved out to the countryside and found himself in the wealth of the natural produce of the countryside, decided that that was as beautiful to him. The quantity of butter speaks to a question of abundance, of never going without, of sensual fulfillment, really. And so for that reason, perhaps a giant pack of butter was as attractive to Vollon as were the flowers to Monet and the nudes to Renoir.